Throughout your Pokemon journey, your main goal, aside from defeating whatever evil organizations around that week, is to become the champion. To do that, you need to collect gym badges. In order to collect gym badges, you need to defeat gym leaders. Do you see a pattern here? Gym leaders function as the hardest trainers in that area, even if you have the appropriate counters, and this list is to commemorate the best of these fine trainers. Rules are simple. One gym leader per game, a particular gym leader can only be chosen once. Remakes and sister games count so long as there's a different method of obtaining the badge. And absolutely no anime. I feel if the last rule was not in place, people like Brock and Misty would have an unfair advantage over those who would normally be on here for how well they perform in the game. Alright, let's go. Our first entry comes from the newest entry in the main series games, Black 2 and White 2. The normal type gym leader Cheren won't necessarily be effective against your team with his extremely common Lillipup and Patrat, but it's also not necessarily going to be weak against whatever starter you pick. I like that in the first gym leader. You don't give advantages to the player unless they grind like crazy or something, and not because they chose the right starter. Plus, Cheren was previously the rival in Pokemon Black and White, so it's nice to see some development with him. Why is he so low? Because Patrat and Lillipup. They're too easy, common, and downright disappointing. I mean, if you're going to resort to using common normal type Pokemon in the Unova Pokedex, why not Dunsparce? Golden opportunity here, people. Golden opportunity. Caterpie evolves into Butterfree? Oh, no, obviously. It's quite obvious that Venonat evolves into Butterfree. Wait, I was wrong? No! Hey, look, I won. Caterpie evolves into Metapod? Yeah. Hey, I got it right. You're the best around. Nothing's gonna ever keep you down. You're the best around. I'll face him anyway. Where was I going with this again? Oh yeah, I remember now. So Blaine here is the master of two of the most annoying things in the world, burns and quizzes, yet somehow makes them slightly less annoying than usual. The Cinnabar Island Gym revolves around answering questions given to you to proceed to Blaine himself, with wrong answers rewarded with instant trainer battles. Or you could just skip the questions and face the trainers anyways. Blaine himself will rely on fast and strong users of his gym's TM, Fire Blast, and Rapidash and Arcanine are strong supporters of that statement. However, for taking the time to come up with all of these questions, he hasn't realized that his weakness completely surrounds him. Note to self, never accept real estate from Blaine. Miltank. Okay, technically her name is Whitney, but really, what do you remember from the Goldenrod Gym? Usually, it's one of two things. Either that Miltank of hers that requires Herculean effort to defeat, or her crying like a bitch when you do. Scratch that. If you do. Miltank has a lot backing itself up. High stats in speed, defense, and HP? Check. A move that will scarcely be resisted at that point of the game and will increase in strength every turn? Of course. A berry that heals itself from status and a move that recovers HP? Why not? Crazy as I may be, there is a reason for a Devil's Advocate to be on the list. It's at this point where if you haven't strategized or overleveled yet, you need a wake-up call. You need to learn how to utilize defensive Pokemon like Nidoqueen, Bayleaf, or Geodude, or grind so that you can kill it and everything else in your path. Still, if Miltank can teach you to do that all by herself, then I think there's more reason to put her on here than just her brute force. Also, Whitney might have a Clefairy. I don't know, I don't remember. You thought Whitney was a bitch? Claire is even worse. The final gym leader of Johto and cousin of the champion Lance, Claire specializes in what else? The Dragon type. The battle consists of 3 Dragonair, each separated by Thunderbolt, Ice Beam, and Surf, and a Kingdra. Remember how much pain Miltank could dish out? Imagine that. Now imagine that whenever weakness you could find and abuse against Miltank is suddenly removed, while it storms you with Surf and Hyper Beam. Yeah, Kingdra is essentially Miltank 2.0. Now some of you might point out that the gym battle does not change at all from gold and silver, and to that I say, you're right. But remember what I said earlier, if I get the badge in a different way than before, then I'm counting it. And Claire counts. You see, instead of having to go to the Dragon's Den and find some item, you have to take a quiz. Getting a question wrong here will not penalize you with another trainer battle, but rather, you will not be able to get a Dratini with extreme speed. With all the crap that Claire just put us through, that's just not right. Sinnoh is an interesting case to me. While I feel that the majority of gym leaders there don't have spectacular teams, they make up for that with some really noteworthy characters. How about the French Ghost Leader, or the wrestler Water Leader, or even the father of another gym leader? With so many appealing characters at my disposal, I naturally settle for the Debbie Downer. Volkner is the final gym leader of Sinnoh and is incredibly bored with his position. So much so that he decides that if you can't beat him, he'll challenge the Elite Four, an event that'll sadly never happen because the almighty plot says no. For a mono electric team, Volkner really goes the extra mile here. He gives his Raichu Focus Blast, he gives his Luxray Ice Fang, and most importantly, he gives Dotian Quick Attack. Okay, so maybe Volkner's not the most compelling character in the Sinnoh League, but damn it, if you're gonna cause a blackout just from your own boredom, then I have to expect something in return. Generation 3 introduced double battles, where he sent out 2 Pokemon to battle at the same time. Ruby and Sapphire, the first games to have this feature, didn't use it too often, so Game Freak made sure that they would incorporate it into the next game. The other next game. There you go. The way double battles were improved upon in Emerald took my expectations, dashed them, rammed the pieces, and palmed them off to buy another copy of Emerald. By far one of the biggest changes to this was the Moss Deep City Gym, which is now entirely focused on double battles. This should go without saying that the same applies to the gym leader of this gym, or rather, gym leaders, Tate and Liza. Twin Psychic type leaders, their entire strategy focuses on, spoilers, teamwork. This can range from shielding both itself and its partner with Light Screen, or using Earthquake to decimate the opposing side with a team that's completely immune to it. There's just one tragic design flaw. The only member of their team not weak to water is Xatu. And guess what surrounds their gym? Not even Xatu's safe. They live right under the ice-themed Shoal Cave. Bravo! Psychic isn't even naturally weak to water or ice, and yet you somehow made yourself the prime target of Spiel. How do you do that? Remember your rival from Gen 1? He becomes a gym leader. Like with Cheren before, it's nice to see Blue get some development here, showing that he's matured a little. But enough about his actions from Gen 1, let's talk about his actions as the Gen 2 leader of Viridian City. Blue is by and large one of the most unique gym leaders in history. His gym has nothing in it, so instead of going through some stupid gimmick, you two just get to cut to the chase. His team is also unique, having no set type, but rather, he uses all of the Pokemon it could have access to in the original Pokemon Red and Blue. Sans the star Pokemon, who I assume he abandoned like the prick he was. His strategy this time around is more focused on summoning weather to use to his advantage, such as having Rhydon use Sandstorm and Exeggutor use Sunny Day. As unique as he was, Blue's placement as number 4 I feel is justified by one fact and one fact alone. Blue is still a prick. The first gym you'll come across in Hoenn is the Petalburg Gym, but its leader, your father Norman, thinks that you and your excuse for a starter Pokemon won't be strong enough just yet and tells you to prove yourself worthy. So you grab some gym badges, go through a stat-based gym, and once you reach Norman, he'll throw out a Slocking. Yes, a Slocking. You don't know what a Slocking is? You see the Pokemon on the cover of the game you're playing? Slocking's base stat total literally equals theirs. It'll only be able to attack every other turn thanks to Truant, but that's all it needs. Got a paralysis on it? Well, it has Facade, making its attacks stronger. Poison working for you? Slack Off will heal any damage it just took. You have a Ghost type? We'll say hello to Feint Attack. Finally take it down? Good. Now duplicate the results. He can be difficult, but if you take note and take advantage of Slocking's greatest weakness, he can actually be a piece of cake. Unlike the pathetically easy Cheren or the ball-bustingly cheap Miltank, Norman's is actually a fair challenge among the normal type leaders. To top it all off, we actually had some build-up to the fight, considering that you meet Norman right at the start of your journey. Defeating him is almost like a rite of passage, that he allows you to explore the Hoenn region, enforced by the fact that his badge allows the use of Surf outside of battle. The one thing that this battle is missing is his voice from the anime, because Dan Green. So you travel through Kanto, you beat Blaine or whoever you decided would go last, you reach the previously closed gym, you face all of the trainers in there, you reach the end, and then you find out the gym leader was Giovanni all along. You heard right, the final gym leader of Gen 1 is also the leader of Team Rocket, who plans on reviving it after he defeats you, which of course will never happen because the plot is not just a bitch to Volkner. Back when Red and Blue were first released, this reveal shocked a lot of people, and even now, a newcomer can be caught off guard when they first see it. With that in mind, the team of Giovanni's I'll be sticking to is his one from Pokemon Yellow. Why? Because apart from the fact that you get no starter bump with Pikachu, because it's not a pushover. Look at the team from Red and Blue. That's just pathetic. Okay, sure, Ducktrio can be countered by a flying type and Persian by a normal type. But then we get to Nidoqueen and Nidoking, who both possess Thunder, thus having a solution to the common water type weakness that ground types have. Also, Rhydon isn't just restricted to one-hit KO moves that it'll never be able to pull off, so that's a plus 2. Once you defeat him and claim his TM, he will abandon the gym and leave it to some asshole from some nearby town. Giovanni really stepped up his game for the final battle against him. In turn, it's arguably the most challenging gym battle of all time. But what could come in first? Blue had nostalgia. Norman had build-up. Giovanni had challenge value. The number one on this list has to combine all of these elements together to make the perfect Pokemon gym leader. Or none of these at all. No, my insanity has not completely drowned me yet. My number one is in fact Cilan, Chili, and Cress, the Straighten City gym leaders. They may only be the first gym leaders of Unova, but they do the job perfectly. While the puzzle to reach them is incredibly simple, keep in mind, not everyone playing this game is a veteran at Pokemon. Also, previous gym leaders gave you either an advantage or a disadvantage for your starter depending on the one you chose. This is especially the case with Rock-type gym leaders, who are all weak to water and grass, but were all effective over fire, at least until the fire starter evolved. Not the case here. Instead, your starter will always be weak to their monkey, and the only way to be effective against that is with a monkey of your own. It might give you an advantage over the gym leader, but it's not like the other first gyms, where you only got an advantage from choosing the right starter. Plus, this trio also introduces you to the final Pokemon music that you're listening to right now, which is not only a kick-ass remix of the main Pokemon theme, but it's something that we haven't heard from other gym leaders before it. Forget first gym leaders, these are good first bosses in general. They help teach newcomers the basics of the game. They're not too easy, nor are they too unfairly challenging. And they're accompanied by the greatest gym battle music ever constructed. So it's safe for me to say that these three are my favorite gym leaders of all time. Now, to end on a more universally desired question, why haven't we gotten a Dark-type gym leader yet?